A lot of people have been asking me about the high price of gasoline and about what they see as a frighteningly high price of oil in the world market. And a lot of people have been telling me that they're very worried because they think foreign dictators, Saudi Arabia, Venezuela, Iran, Russia, could really play a major role in either blackmailing the U.S. economically or blackmailing us in national security if we continue to be so dependent on foreign oil. In addition, the rising cost of oil means we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars a year sending it overseas to pay dictators and autocrats for their resources. And that means that our airline industry is in trouble, our trucking industry is in trouble, everyone who works and has to drive to work is in trouble. Senior citizens find it more expensive to go on trips. And finally, it is having an effect on the price of food. People keep pointing to ethanol and biofuels, but ethanol and biofuels are not a major cause of the rising cost of food around the world. A major cause of the rising cost of food is the indirect increase in oil because it affects both the transportation of food, the transportation of fertilizer, the production of fertilizer, and in a variety of ways, the more expensive oil is, the more expensive food is going to be. And so the result is that the high price of oil has a real impact on all of us. Now, some people would like to attack corporations, would like to find a scapegoat, but let me be clear, as I said in my newsletter recently, this is a politician's energy crisis. The price of oil is as high as it is today because for years, liberal politicians have locked up energy in the United States. They've locked up our ability to use nuclear power by making the regulations too hard and the risk too great. They've locked up our ability to develop clean coal by refusing to invest in the right kind of research, and we have more coal than any other country in the world. In fact, we are bigger than Saudi Arabia in fossil fuels when you count in coal. They have refused to allow us to use shale oil. In fact, as recently as last week, the 15 liberals in the Senate blocked any effort to use shale oil, where the United States has an estimated 7 trillion tons of petroleum locked up in shale oil, compared to about 1 trillion tons in Saudi Arabia. So as you can see, if we learned how to use shale oil economically, we would actually have 7 times the oil resource of Saudi Arabia. In addition, they have blocked us from looking off our shores. Brazil recently became energy independent because Brazil has had 2 major finds in the Atlantic Ocean. New modern technology is able to dig very, very deep, and it's able to be very safe. When Katrina, the hurricane that did so much damage in New Orleans, hit the oil rigs in the Gulf Coast, none of them were damaged and there were no leaks because the modern technology is so much more effective and so much more powerful than it used to be. So there are a lot of things we could do to have a lot more energy right now and have a lot lower prices. And if we do it right in the long run, we can also have a lot less environmental damage. But that requires a policy that recognizes it's very important in the short run to bring down the cost of gasoline. It's very important in the long run to increase alternative sources of fuel, including a hydrogen economy and the use of nuclear power and solar and wind power. But we need both strategies. It doesn't do us any good to tell us we're going to be better off in 25 years if half of America goes broke between now and then. And it's wrong to younger Americans to tell them that they're going to have a future of less transportation, smaller vehicles, fewer choices, greater expenses. That's not the American dream. The American dream is to use science and technology to incentivize the marketplace, to encourage entrepreneurs. And together, we can in fact get the job done. We could drill here, drill now, and pay less. It's a very important concept. Let's get the price down. Let's get America off of depending on foreign oil, off of depending on foreign dictatorships. Let's minimize the risk of blackmailing America. And with a lot lower prices, let's make life better for working Americans, better for airline employees, better for airline travelers, better for truckers, and better for people who buy products that are delivered by truck. In addition, in the long run, let's look at a strong nuclear power industry that's capable of dramatically reducing our carbon footprint. Let's look at developing clean coal in a dramatic way, frankly, beating the Chinese who are currently building a clean coal plant, while our Department of Energy bureaucracy has totally messed up a project which we'd been promised would be finished in 2008, and now they're talking about 2016. I say less money to bureaucrats, more money to entrepreneurs. Less red tape, more energy production. The fact is we can get this done, but your congressman, your senator, your state legislator has to hear from you that you want a chance to have more energy now, you want to have a chance to have cleaner energy over time, and you want a program that's good for the economy and good for the environment and good for national security, because we can do all three. That's why last year I wrote Contract with the Earth. That's why recently I wrote a newsletter on the politicians' energy crisis, because it's all artificial. It's all caused by politics, and it can all be fixed by people who want to apply fundamental change to get America back on the right track. Thank you very much.